Welcome to Crime with Kush. I'm going to share three simple Bible verses. I've actually read the Bible. Let me decide what order I want to go in, actually. So I read the Bible back in college. I was forced to take a Bible class. I had to take that as a graduation requirement. And like honestly, when I went to my college, I wasn't really that religious. I went just because they had accepted me, and it was a nice college, and it was local. I didn't want to leave the state for college, and got sheltered. But yeah, I went there and was forced to take a Bible class. Introduction to Bible, I believe, was my very first Bible class, or maybe Introduction to the Gospel, or Introduction to the Old Testament, something. I don't know. Intro to something. From that moment on, I fell in love with it. I went to church my whole life growing up. I start for the background. I believe in humanizing yourself. Give a little bit of my background. I don't want to just rush into this. Just a sterile, just sermon or whatever. I'm a human being too. But yeah, we'd go to church every Sunday or whatever, and it would kind of ring hollow with me because I had to deal with domestic violence or whatnot at home, and like that was really just felt like with my parent. I can't say parents. My dad, it was instigator of that was and my mom was just defending herself, was just didn't feel like they were living up to the word that they claimed to abide by, and had the Ten Commandments on their wall, all this stuff. And anyways, I discovered it as an adult, the Bible, and I read the whole thing. I couldn't stop reading it. And throughout the year, and I actually look forward to my Bible classes. They were my favorites, and all my college classes. I liked them more than my psychology classes. I majored in psychology, minored in history. I liked it more than all that stuff, and just fell in love with it. I wish I still had my physical Bible, my study Bible. I gave it to my aunt many years ago. I need to buy another NIV study Bible. Maybe I'll buy it today. Maybe this will inspire me. I'd love to have it. This is massive Bible I can walk around reading, and it like breaks down things like footnotes and whatnot. It breaks down things and like I didn't love the old timey language. Literally, the only thing I didn't like about the Bible, and if I'm allowed to say this, I didn't like the Book of Genesis. It was just like too many, just like lineage and just names and just kind of like just. Am I allowed to call it boring? But after that, after Exodus, it really started to pick up. But I love the Bible. I'm a bigger fan of the New Testament than Old. I love Jesus' message of love and acceptance, and that leads to where we are right now. I made a video a few weeks ago called "Hating Queer People is Really Stupid," and I see Christians, quote unquote Christians, say things like being gay is a sin or that Jesus would hate gay people. I don't believe that. I don't think Jesus would hate anybody. I don't believe is it that being gay is a sin for one, or being LGBTQI plus, in general is a sin. I think Jesus would look at the human being in their entire body of work before he cares about who you love. And like the way I look at it, philosophy, I don't think Jesus would hate gay people. I use gay as an umbrella term because it's just easier to say than LGBTQIA plus. I don't think he'd hate gay people because at the end of the day, it's about love, and Jesus is all about love. I don't think why would he hate you loving someone if that makes you a better person, a more full person. I don't think he'd be against that. It's common sense. And if you actually read the Bible, you'd understand that. I don't think a lot of Christians have actually read the Bible, and it shows so much vitriol towards immigrants these days, and I'll do whatever I can with my platform. I don't know how many subscribers I have, how many people these videos reach. I'll do whatever I can with my platform. I have a moral obligation to do that, and there's a lot of hatred towards immigrants these days. I'll never take part in that because it's stupid. These people have no power. We're literally the least powerful people in our entire society, but it's easy to shit on them because it's an easy target, and Americans love an easy target. But it's sick in my mind because you're Americans. There is no America without mass immigration, and most of it was unethical immigration. You stole land from my ancestors. And but we are a bad person, or you have victim mindset if you bring that up. But we don't hold a grudge against white people for that. Why do white people hate immigrants so much? And I say white people because it's mostly white people that drive the hate of immigrants. I don't know what to tell you. America's like what 70% white. It's gonna be mostly white people doing anything. But yeah. I don't believe in hating immigrants. It's like you're brave, but man, not. I think most people just are indifferent to the suffering and the plight of these people. You hear about getting locked up, sent to countries they're not even from. We just move on. Just move on. Like, I was making videos every fucking day about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I can't do them anymore because I'm emotionally spent. If I was still doing the videos, it would have been like what 60 days since they said he was coming home. Nothing's changing. I'm pissed off. And if I just kept doing those videos, eventually I would have had a psychological break, and I would have probably just threatened the president or the DHS secretary. Then I'm winding up in behind bars. And like I'm tired of this world being such bullshit. There's no recourse, no help for anybody. And especially these immigrants who need help more than anybody. They need help more than any American. I don't want to hear about Americans struggling or problems. Immigrants need the help. And people will not even like immigrants having food or a place to live. Basic human rights stuff. Anyway, let's get these three verses we're in the video. And like this is why I can't hate immigrants. I read the Bible. And like these verses are very clear. Not hard to, even for an idiot to understand. Love the sojourner, which is I think that's what they called an immigrant back in the day. Therefore, for you were sojourners or sojourner in the land of Egypt. Let's read it again. Love the sojourner. Therefore, you were sojourners in the land of Egypt. Every you call yourself a Christian, your lineage is from immigrants, a mass exodus of people who were being oppressed. All right. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love the neighbor as yourself. I'm the Lord. Israel can learn a lot from that. And the funny thing about it, if you're a Christian, you know that the Old Testament is just the Torah. That's the Jewish Torah. They've read this stuff. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. They're talking about immigrants. There's no commandment greater than these. The God says it right there. There's no commandment greater than these. And I hate to break it to tens of millions of Christians in this country. You're breaking the Lord's commandments. And there's no, I imagine he doesn't take that lightly. If I imagine the Lord is furious right now, seeing the way we're treating immigrants in this country. Because, like I said, you forgot where you came from. There's no America without a bunch of mass immigration. You understand? There's Italians here, French, Irish, Scottish, Slovenian, Slovakian, whatever fuck you can think of. There's Mexicans here. There's Brazilians here. There's everything. America is a melting pot. And that's the way it's gonna stay. And I know all this hate is driven by a bunch of white people that are afraid of becoming the minority. Guess what? Things change. Everything's in flux. History's not static. Being a minority is not so bad if you're not sitting around having a victim mindset and bitching and complaining all the time about somebody, some other group that you perceive as more privileged than you. There are actually hateful people out here that think immigrants are getting more than them. Think that I should be the one getting all these benefits, even though the immigrants aren't getting the benefits at all. Like I say, there's 1.4 million immigrants on Medicaid. Lies. Immigrants can't get Medicaid. They can't get any of our social programs. Guess what? They put tens of billions of dollars into the goddamn economy every year. Money they never get to take out and see. And we treat them like dirt. I'm sick of it. One thing you never hear come out of Kush Clark's mouth, I said some awful things about human beings like Donald Trump, Elon Musk, these demons. One thing you never hear me say is spit some bullshit about an entire group of people, especially a group of people like immigrants who have no money and no power in this country. And Christians, you take your head out of your ass, wise up, and quit giving good Christians, normal Christians, people who actually read this goddamn book. I said goddamn. Not the taking the Lord's name in vain. Don't come to me with that. Actually read this goddamn book and comprehended it, analyzed it, and understand that this I gotta read it again for you. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this. Love your neighbor as yourself. There's no commandment greater than these. What the fuck don't you understand? I know Americans aren't the brightest bunch, but even a child in Bible study could understand that. What the hell up?